Warning, this podcast has some swears in it.
I'd rate it PG-13 at most, but let's just be on the safe side and say viewer discretion is advised.
Nice. Nailed it.
I need you to take initiative.
Okay, I will move to the secret entrance and search my library for a basic, probably swamp, and then pass priority.
This is not what I had in mind, but I'll take it. I'll use that as our very bad opening.
Time to raise your blades, heroes.
And check some vibes.
It's the Heroes Blade Vibe Check.
No, Quinn, I mean, you need to take initiative, because sometimes you need to open the podcast and be like, I don't know, say something completely outlandish and outrageous to get me to, like, laugh or something else. I don't know. We'll just go...
Yeah, I don't know. I do that in text.
Yeah, I know.
Slide into your DMs with a screenshot of an achievement and just caps lock. I'm shipping.
All right. So anyway, Final Fantasy continues until it doesn't, in which case we will be dead. So anyway, we're back with another episode of Heroes Blade Vibe Check. What's up, everyone?
Hey, gamers.
Quinn and I are currently in the depths of Final Fantasy 16 Hell, which actually isn't Hell. It's actually been a very pleasant experience.
Yeah, it's actually peak, as the kids are saying these days.
You can't keep saying that. You can't keep saying the kids say that if you're just flat out just saying it's peak. Like, you just straight up, you're like, at one point you were like, well, as the kids say, it's peak. And then I'm just me in the corner being like, it's peak. It just is. It's peak. So yeah.
Hello, peak department. I like to record an occurrence.
Yeah. So, like we mentioned last time, it was on sale, and we both finally managed to get a copy of it. And we are actually now, despite the fact that I had that weekend wedding to go to and then ended up being sick from it, which you could probably hear a bit of that in my voice. I'm a little more nasally today. We actually are more or less at the same part right now, but I think you actually managed to sneak ahead of me again. Having a monumentally good time with the Game of Thrones game world part with the lore and everything mixed together with the gameplay, as well as like the game devs of Devil May Cry and other character action game stuff, and it is very cool. I'm very entertained.
Yeah, dude, it is top-notch character action gaming hours. I have rarely felt more powerful as when I am dancing around a battlefield charging Bahamut's Mega Flare and just fucking not participating at all in the damage dealing until I let that motherfucking thing bark and the Mega Flare lasers just like rain down upon my enemies and reduce their health totals to 0.
Out of context to anyone, at one point you're like, what does Quinn mean by this? And the answer is, Quinn literally just described an entire move where you just literally just stand there with your super cool spectral dragon wings out, and you're like, cool, come at me. And you cannot do anything else except dodge and charge your laser. And then you fire you fire in my laser, except you shoot it off into space.
Shit, my knees hurt.
It's brutal. I'm turning to dust as we speak. I was looking in the mirror recently, and I realized that like my hair has gotten way more silver hairs in it, and I'm like, oh no, the passage of time. I will have a full head of like gray or silver hair by the time I'm 35 at this rate. It is happening.
Oh, that's fine. You're growing into it. Well, it looks very good on you.
Thank you. So yeah, what more can be said about Final Fantasy 16, except not only, so the combat gameplay is awesome, and it's so, my girlfriend called my ass out. She's like, are you playing one of your clicky clacky games? Or I'm like, yeah, or she calls them the tippy tappy, but we both know it's actually the clicky clacky because there's usually the trigger buttons going clicky clacky with all the stuff that you're doing. And she's like, are you playing one of your tippy tappy games? I'm like, yes, why? Oh, I don't know. I just hear your Xbox controller just going. Just like, mind your business. Yes, I'm having a good time. The other part of it is that the game does tend to show off the Final Fantasy XIV MMORPG quest gathering things, aka gathering 20 bear asses. Except instead of having the 20 bear asses ready to go for the quest completion result, it's like, actually you must get one platinum bear ass from the specific quest. And I'm like, fuck you. Can I just like have this shit and like do like, I have 20,000 meteorites that I do nothing with. Can I like give these to you?
Crafting, babes.
Crafting what? A weapon that I've already crafted and already have? It's but then anyway.
Yeah.
I now have 20,000 astral bear asses. What do I do with these, Quinn? You can't tell me to craft anything.
Astral bear asses, wow.
Yeah, they're super rare, but because we're pro gamers, it's actually absolutely nothing for us to do that. So, sorry, 1 second here.
I just think that the combat system is extremely interesting. I have like two different builds, one that's like basically a cutscene combat and the other one that's like no cutscenes combat. So the first one I just spam those moves that like take a bunch of time and fill up the screen with very pretty animations that do a lot of damage. And I have like access to a lot of them at this point, so I can kind of just like chain those guys and my enemies just never get an opportunity to interact. And I kind of just like set up some cutscenes and then I push the button occasionally and then I watch that play out. And then I have the other one where if I actually want to participate in the combat system of the game, then I play that one.
Oh, yeah. I think that is one of the nice things right now is having options. The game has a lot of them. And of course, sometimes you're like, okay, how does this feel for me? And sometimes you're like, wow, this does not feel good or it doesn't feel right. Titan's moveset about like blocking and countering and everything, not really my jam, despite the fact that like I could probably really get into it.
Oh, dude, if you time that shit right, it is so fucking satisfying.
Oh yeah, no, don't.
Best like zoom in on the screen and the sound effects and the vibration and the controller all syncs up and you just crunch and then you start wailing on them in response. That shit feels great.
I thought it was funny how when you and I started talking about like, oh, what moves are you doing? Or I opened with, okay, what controller type are you using? And you're like,
what are you talking about?
I do not interact with this. What are you talking about? What does this mean? Because I thought, I always thought having a charge ranged attack button next to your melee attack button was sometimes the most unintuitive thing physically, because you also have to use your thumb to tap the jump button or whatever the fuck else is going on. And I'm like, okay, I hear you, game devs, but let me switch over to type 3 so I can make my ranged attack be charging on like one of the shoulder buttons. And it feels way better, like way more, first of all, way more ergonomic more than anything. Like it's really good.
Are you alternating in between your melee attack with the magic shot though?
I am trying the best I can to get it synchronized, yeah, because I know that it's, first of all, it's stylish. Like that's right off the bat.
Yeah, we ain't doing it. Action game.
If we ain't doing it, you ain't styling. But the other thing too is that I'm usually like, I'm actually flicking between the different summons. I mean, they're called icons in this game, but they're basically the summons, you know? So
yeah, it's summons, and we're all summoners, and Clive is Summoner Supreme.
Mythos, that's Summoner Supreme to you. You don't know what type of game you're in, are you? I don't know if we are attempting to really sell Final Fantasy 16 by going on all these random tangents, but the reality is that Final Fantasy.
I just love this fucking game.
I will say it is an acquired taste for sure. But I would encourage anyone, if they do like more actiony / character action / I don't know.
If you liked Devil May Cry or Bayonetta and you think that you can tolerate the setting of Game of Thrones and the action of those games, then this game is probably for you.
Decapitations may occur. Maybe. We'll find out.
Perhaps.
Mayhaps. All right, let's go over just for some upkeep stuff that's happening with next episode. So we got Mr. Andy from the Legendary Creature Podcast coming on. Which very excited, looking forward to that. Months in the making. We still got a decently hefty roster of people to come back on. Come back on. I'm not saying that people can't come back on. I'm just saying that they will come back on at a later time. But what I mean is we still have a bunch of guests coming in that we haven't had yet that we're looking forward to. Is going to keep us very busy for the next few months. While also we can try to figure out how to get people back on, because why not? So yeah, we got Andy coming on. We will bring him into around the campfire and vibe and drag him away from being a wallflower, because the man's like, but I'm shy. I'm like, my brother, come on. We're the easiest people to talk to in the world. It's so easy. So yeah, that's happening next episode. Let's dust off our Final Fantasy robes for a second, and let's go into some vibe checks and talk about some new legends that are coming out in Edge of Eternities. So, Quinn, start us off with something.
Yeah, it's new card season again. This one is for the Jund Lands precon, and I think it might extend to spacecraft in general. So this is Hearthhole, the World Seed. It's a legendary artifact spacecraft for 1 and black, red, green. Station. OMG. Yeah, it's got station. It's an artifact creature at 8+. So that's when that happens. And then before then, at station 2, you can spend 1 and tap it to sacrifice a land and draw 2 cards. You may play an additional land this turn.
Typical Jund Mage shenanigans.
Yeah, exactly. This is exactly what Jund Land Mages want to be doing, so that's cool. This doesn't super want to see a Hero's Blade, though. It's going to enter as not a creature and therefore cannot equip the blade. Yeah. And that's going to be the case for almost every spacecraft, I think. So there was, there's been some... I probably should have checked that Gavin Verhey video out, but there's been some discussion from why or why not that they were going to be making a decision to have legendary vehicles in spacecrafts be your commanders. And people have pointed out that they have to have a power and toughness for the legendary spacecrafts to be in the command zone. Which was something I didn't really consciously think about, because I really do not foresee myself putting any of these in the command zone. But also it's the fact that, again, the hard no synergy with the Hero's Blade, because this thing is not coming down as a creature. I don't think it even becomes a creature once it gets to the appropriate level for it to get like the stats, which is like really weird. Like, I don't get that. That's really weird to me. Yeah, once you put the appropriate number of counters on it, it is a creature.
Oh, okay. Maybe I misunderstood. I guess that wouldn't work otherwise.
You just need, like for Hearthhole's case, you need to get to 8 or more counters on it, and then it gets access to the stuff that's in the box associated with that station number.
Okay. So, yeah. No pass. Good. I'm good to agree with that. That seems pretty simple and straightforward. Now, let's talk about a character that I don't know about, but yet they have 2 cards. Because I'm like, what the hell? Sir Vondam?
Mm-hmm.
I don't know.
Yeah.
The Lucent, and then also the other card, Sunstar Exemplar. I'm just gonna quickly. I'm so ready for today. I am living the dream. I wish my sinuses would freaking clear up because this is so brutal. Oh, I hate this.
You were podcasting strongest warrior.
Everyone's like, "Oh, I'm gonna take a break. I'm sick this week." I'm like, I don't care. All right, so Servanan the Lucent. This is a 5-mana commander. Oh my god, please work for me. Why is my internet like not working for me?
Oh no.
No, I mean, oh geez. Wow, this card might as well just not exist. Okay.
That's fine, babes. I got it. Servanum the Lucent is a legendary
you.
creature, human knight. He's a 4/4 for 2, a white and black with death touch, lifelink, and whenever Servanum enters or attacks, other creatures you control get +1/+0 and gain death touch until end of turn. Yo.
Yeah.
This guy reminds me of the white mana Sir Alan the Lion's Claw from the first trip to Eldraine.
That's exactly what I was thinking. Yeah.
People didn't like that guy very much, but I think maybe they are prepared to like him now when they read Servandum the Lucent.
We are re-entering the black-white knight era of design, and obviously I think this is going to be like one of those draft capstone cards for like whatever small little dudes you got going on, maybe.
Yeah, this is probably your signpost uncommon for the black-white go wide aggro deck.
We have had a few of these type, like you said, like we have a few of these types of cards kind of at that same mana value. I think Servanum has a lot more going on behind him than this for this iteration. Also, hey, Titan templating, that's something that is becoming more and more prolific in design because we just want to eke out every single advantage out of a card, and this is the way that you're going to be doing it.
Yeah.
But again, Death Touch and Lifelink on a 4/4 body baseline's pretty good. Putting a sword on that, leading the charge of an army that gets Death Touch. Yeah, no, I'm down for it. I want it. I need it. Am I going to do something with it? I don't quite know yet. I think I have a couple decks that I think I could slot this card in, and it'll do some work.
Hell yeah.
But Sir Vondam's Sunstar Exemplar is the rare version of this character for a white and a black that's a 2/2 humanoid with vigilance and menace. Whenever another creature you control dies or is put into exile, put a +1 counter on Sir Vondam and you gain 1 life. Pretty easy to do the first one, and putting into exile, flickering stuff, that seems pretty all right.
Yeah, I read that first line of text and was just like, oh, perfect. This goes great in my Ketramos Blink deck.
Yay. Can Ketramos still get cheaper, please and thank you? And then when Sir Vondam dies or is put into exile while its power is 4 or greater, destroy up to 1 target non-land permanent. This seems incredibly synergistic with just a small dudes flicker deck, and then you just start popping stuff when you're like, hold on, pop. Get rid of that.
Yeah, you play your Sir Vondam, you play your Surema, you play your Philia, and then you play sort of Hearth and Home, and just like good legendary creatures and good ways to flicker them and get into the battlefield abilities and attack triggers and just farm all of that value.
Yeah. So back into the vibe checking, absolutely yes.
Yeah, for sure, Z's. I think for Sir Vondam Sunstar Exemplar in particular, because he wants to have 4 power or greater when he's leaving the battlefield.
Oh, this is so fucked up. No!
Yeah.
You
just blow a thing up. So you just like Conjurer's Closet on your end step. I'm going to blink Sir Vondam. He's going to blow up your bomb, and then we'll return him. ETB trigger Hero's Blade. We'll re-equip that.
Mm-hmm.
And then you'll lose a life and draw a card for Ketramos.
Are we the baddies, Quinn? Is this podcast a mistake? Yeah, no.
I like to play a rude deck every now and again.
Yeah, fair enough. So yeah, probably Hero's Blade and anything that auto-equips for a multitude of reasons on enter that immediately pushes Servanim over the tippity top. That would be the way to go about it. And I always thought that like Azorius flicker decks were like the most annoying thing, but I think it's the fact that this shit's actually going to start getting rid of stuff. Like,
I think I prefer the Orzhov version because they have access to Corpse Knight.
You know what?
Which is whenever another creature enters the battlefield, your opponent's lose a life.
Right. Yeah. So, yeah, this could be a problem.
So while they're farming blink value, they're actually killing you.
Yep. So they're not only killing your board, but they're also killing you in this state. But yeah, very, very strong. So not looking forward to seeing that in the command zone, maybe in part of the 99. But as I usually say, Magic players cannot be trusted. So I guess we'll just have to wait and see.
I mean, if you put this guy in the command zone, you just beat people's asses with your Vigilance Menace creature with all of his equipment, and then he's got that insurance policy, so you, like, don't blow him up, or shit gets blown up.
Yeah, true. But that's just that's a reasonable take, Quinn. Who would do that? That would be ridiculous. Yeah, you. We're smoking mids around here. We're not doing anything super duper crazy.
Yeah, you know what it is. Speaking of knowing what it is, I got another guy from that John Lands pre-con. So this guy's the creature, and you know what it is. He's going to want to be attacking or some shit like that. This guy's got flying. You may play lands from your graveyard, and whenever you sacrifice another non-token permanent during your turn, put a number of +1/+1 counters equal to Zarel's power on up to one other target creature. And Zarl's a 2/5 legendary creature, insect druid for 2, a black, a red, and a green. So with the Hero's Blade, you're automatically at +3 power for this whenever you sacrifice a non-token permanent trigger, and the whole deck wants to be sacrificing lands and whatnot, so that is extremely easy to make happen. And you're just yeeting 5 +1/+1 counters wherever you like. That seems pretty good.
Yeah. I've been biting my tongue of being like, snore, another Jund legend, but at least it kind of has like this sort of like Kresh feel to it. Like it kind of marries. It kind of marries like everything. It is in itself the most unflashy, unsexy like Jund legend, but it is like functional and not terribly offensive in my opinion. Like it could get busted. Like you could, I put a bunch of counters on my stuff. Sure,
you're
but
absolutely gonna die to this, but at least they'll be killing you and not just like spending 45 minutes moving cards between zones or whatever, like they would with
Lord
some
Windgrace.
other Jund legends.
Honestly, you put Jund and Simic in like the same Venn diagram circle, and you're usually like, whatever the fuck they're doing over there, this is the same thing. Whatever, you know.
They love to farm value.
But yeah, good way to kind of like kickstart everything with the blade on a flying body. Like, you know, it is what it is. Does the work. It does the work.
What do we got for comments?
Hey, I got one more.
Oh, you do have one more. My bad.
Another character that happens to have 2 cards, but I wanted to talk about this second one here. I got Sammy Wildcat Captain. That's 4 red and a white for a human artificer rogue. That's a 4/4 with double strike and vigilance. That has spells you cast have affinity for artifacts. So, good body, good abilities, great to hold a blade, even if you're not exactly evasive, but we're in colors that can give other evasive keywords. Also, this is just a bludger card. Like, I'm just saying that right now. Everyone knows this, unsurprisingly. Yeah, I don't know. It's tricky. It's going to be tricky to see what the cuts are going to be for this card. And it is 6 mana, but I am playing a discard reanimator deck. So I don't know. We'll see what happens once I finally get a copy of it.
I really hope that this card actually sees the combat step in other people's decks because it has such incredible keywords and stats for it.
My first thought in comparison, and maybe it's not exactly the same comparison, but I'm like, all right, hey, Agris Cost, Spirit of Justice, like same keywords, you know, and it also happens to be able to either make stuff not be able to block or arguably give, if Agris Cost is not blocking, I'm going to accuse himself. He's going to become suspected so he can gain menace. I will definitely be putting Sammy in the red zone in this deck, because I think as we managed to see with the game that we had the other day, that I did not have enough attackers. I had to keep going. It was great. So yeah, I intend to be using Sammy for combat with some extra value sprinkled on top. But I am looking suspiciously at people who are like, "Oh, affinity for artifacts," you say, and you're like,
I will Metal Storm and then never turn sideways.
Why would I do this? In fact, I will use Sammy as a mana rock somehow. And you're like, the fuck? Okay, all right. All right,
I'll tap my Relic of Legends anyway.
Anyway, yeah. All right, comments. What does Lenny got for us?
Lenny says, Ruby mentioned Yang is my homegirl.
Yeah. I was chatting with Laura a bit, and we were talking about consuming media that is mid. Which I know what people are like, no, I'm sorry, I got sophisticated tastes. I only watch like the most pristine media you've ever did hear or see or watch.
I can only watch Peak.
Yeah. And first of all, talking to another co-host here that watches literally nothing, consumes literally zero. We have to like fish for pop culture media recognition from Quinn whenever we're in a group setting and we're just like, Quinn, do you know this? And Quinn's like, yes, I do know Pacific Rim. We're like, oh, thank God, because that is Peak.
I got 2 references in a row the other day, and I felt like I was getting an A+ in Human.
We were like, oh my God, this is amazing. So Ruby, by definition, is not... It is Peak in some ways, but unfortunately the highs and the lows are like cavernous. Like it is truly ruinous. Like the coolest moments are the most hypest shit that you've ever seen from like a studio that wasn't really known for animation at the time, like when Rooster Teeth was starting it back like a decade ago. But Laura was like, and I felt really resonant with this, of like, Laura really appreciates the mids when it comes to media, because there will always be terrible things that you can nitpick to the end of days. But like when the things hit, like when you get those like really cool, pristine diamond in the rough moments, like it feels like cathartic to kind of like see stuff like that pop off. Yang has punch gauntlets. I hope you know this, with like guns in them, like shotguns.
Whoa.
And she can also set herself on fire, and the more damage she takes, the more damage she dishes out, because it's like video game fighting rules where everyone has like an indestructible aura around them that they can take damage up to a certain point before their aura depletes, and then they actually start taking like lethal damage. So as long as she's got her aura up, she can tank damage and then start dealing it out more. And usually that involves her like breaking like the foundations of buildings and shit when she just starts like punching shit. It's really cool.
Okay, that sounds really cool.
There's also a sniper rifle that transforms into a scythe that is still also a gun.
Hello, yes, I would like to know her location.
So yeah, Ruby does have a lot of cool stuff going on with it. It is the studio managed to pick it back up, so it will be doing season 10. Thank fucking God it got saved. And I'm sure you can consume episodes somewhere on the internet. But seasons 1 through 3 would at least be a good recommendation. I think we talked about this before, where I was like, we talked about this last episode, I'm pretty sure, where it's just like, you know, you can watch like a whole season in like an hour, and you're like, cool, this is like really cool, janky 3D anime. Holy shit, did they just like combine their powers to launch the little girl with the giant sniper rifle scythe into a giant crow to like cut its head off at max speed while she's like running up the side of a mountain using like someone else's magic and her weapon to like rifle shotgun her way up the side of the cliff to snap its head off? It's fucking awesome.
Damn.
So Final Fantasy,
That might
so
be
Final
pretty cool.
Final Fantasy 16 has some moments, let me tell you.
Yeah,
Anyway.
speaking of combining powers, Final Fantasy 16 is peak.
It is very cool, but we will talk about that later. Kevin says here, summoning good vibes to the algorithm, so thank you for commenting. That's really appreciated just by doing that. Again, folks, you're killing me here. It's another dry spell. We need more. I'm kidding, but not really. But anyway, a bunch of people actually reached out to us about this particular card that they want us to talk about. They want to know if the Hylderblade can be our proverbial vibe check, because it's a 1-mana equipment that's black. The equipped creature gets +3/+1 with the keyword void at the beginning of your end step if a non-land permanent left the battlefield this turn or a spell was warped this turn. Attach this equipment to target creature control with an equip cost of 4. Yes. Absolutely. It's awesome.
Yeah, this seems sweet.
Will this be... Goddamn, cuts are getting so hard. Like...
Yeah, you know what? No more cutting cards. Just build a new deck. It's whatever.
Quinn, I can't keep doing... Okay, I'm gonna build a Jill deck, fine. But yeah, Hylderblade...
Wait, hang on.
What? Hold on.
Jill, she was dominant? Oh no.
I will tap down your lands, Quinn. Don't tempt me.
Posting the fucking Bugs Bunny meme where he's got the gun in the like heavily distorted image, and he's just like, Lord forgive me, I'm gonna go back to the old me. And there's a Frost Titan in the background.
You fucking know it. I got summoned Shiva on deck. You have no fucking idea what I'm up to. In fact, you know exactly what I'm up to, and it's gonna be tapping down your shit.
I've already 360 no scoped that. I know I'm in your brain, and it's lots of room in here.
Oh shit, fuck. All right. But yeah, no. Hylderblade, I think, could definitely go in a few things. It's very easy for a non-land permanent to leave the battlefield. Warp,
yeah, I wanna
obviously.
put that to that Alpha Rio. I think that'll be fun.
You mean Alpha Rad?
Not what he's called.
You're like, whomst is Alpha Rad? And we're like, don't worry about it. It's fine.
Okay. Yay.
So yeah, the set is focused on things entering and leaving. Let's talk about lander tokens. I mean, okay, hold on. Actually, wait, time out. Before we do this, obviously, if you didn't know or you missed out, Smoking Mids has been discontinued. In its place, Quinn, I do have to ask a question because we did talk about this.
Mm-hmm.
Do you happen to have a track, whether it's a short little ditty or perhaps maybe a lengthy track of yours? Do you got something we can play for the next little bit before we continue?
Yeah, we'll put that right here. What the fuck is up, Spacelings? You've been listening to HBVC Radio. This is DJ Space Girl coming at you live, settled in gently in orbit around Saturn. What we got up next for you is a brand new track from underground hip-hop and electronic music recording artist Eclipse, titled The Doors of Uthros, inspired by a Magic the Gathering Edge of Eternities side story by the same name. So go ahead and get real comfy, set those nav systems to auto, and ride through the cosmos with me.
So let's talk about Edge of Eternities for a sec, because we are still in the middle of preview season.
Yeah, for sure, Zeus.
I think we're getting, I think at the end of the week, after this episode comes out, I think previews will have finished by then, which, like, holy shit, like, how are we already in the middle of another preview season, it feels like, but here we are. Landfall, that's the theme of the set, as we are colonizing planets.
Yeah, anytime you're like doing the exploring thing or doing the like adventure plane thing, they like to play around with lands, and it's no different in the Final Frontier space. So we've got lands and lands matter themes and shocklands and standard.
Shocklands are back, yeah. Is it the enemy color combination right now? I don't think they've declared that they got the full.
They're fucking weird. It's not even like cleanly split like allied or enemy. They have 5 and 5, but it's I forget which 5 you get.
Off the top, yeah. So I'm pretty sure someone was joking that the breeding pool one will be in Lorwyn or something, which I was like, sure, we can make jokes about that when that comes out.
It's not, because it's here. So there's Breeding Pool, Godless Shrine, Sacred Foundry, Stomping Ground, and Watery Grave.
Oh, that is such an interesting spread.
It's a weird split.
I think I remember whenever I've talked to people that do like fan design sets or whatever, where they're like, I want to create a draft environment where these are the 5 like 2-color teams that, like, it's still apparently like some of them can still like make a circle, but like we're so used to like, here are the ally pairs and then here's the enemy pairs, and they cannot interchange, they cannot intermingle unless it's a 10-color, like a 10 2-color set thing or whatever. But like, it's funky, it's super weird. But hey, Shocklands, you bust out your in Unfinity Shocklands for extra space.
Yeah, you can flex on the nerds with your Galaxy Foil Infinity Shocklands. They are running the Galaxy Foil treatment back for this set, though, of course. So there are some alternative flex options potentially available. But if you want to old money flex with Galaxy Foils, then yeah, Infinity's the way to go.
Thank God I got those 2 Sacred Foundries that are in decks that are like, yeah, these are sick, I will buy these, I will never buy any other Unfinity product. So they
and
also,
that's the curmudgeon report.
Yeah, there we go. So we also have a new token being produced across, I'm pretty sure it's mostly in like Gruul, but we got lander tokens.
Yeah, I think every color can make landers, but the archetype for Gruul is lands in this set, so they get the most lander production, it seems.
They get, so they're artifact tokens with pay 2, tap, sacrifice this token, search your library for a basic land card, put in the battlefield, tap, and shuffle. So hey, I guess you get Wayfarer's Bauble tokens now, which, like, I'm down for that, for sure. Play more basics.
They will never.
No. And then I'm trying to find a warp card to use as an example. Oh, here we go.
Oh, do that new Eldrazi.
Well, okay. Well, I was going to talk about the new card that they previewed today, which was probably, one, kind of silly, but the fact that it's got a warp cost on it. Landing Zone. 3 and a green for an enchantment that says if one or more counters would be put on a creature, spacecraft, or planet, we'll talk about planets in a second here, that you control, twice that many of each of those kinds of counters are put on it instead, with a warp cost of green that says you may cast this card from your hand for its warp cost. Exile this enchantment at the beginning of your next end step, and then you may cast it from exile on a later turn. So we kind of get like this weird like evoke adventure kind of thing.
Yeah, it seems like there's plenty of room to play with that. I'm excited to see what some of the rest of the set does that like plays with warp, and what the rest of the cards in the upcoming sets do that interact with spells not cast from your hand, because we have plot now, we have warp, there's a lot of like not casting from your hand going on this season, and I want to see how that pays off.
Yeah. I think some of the creatures that we've seen so far, including like some of the, like, first of all, looking at the mono white angels with a bunch of keywords on them, even some of the uncommon ones, like there's that 5-mana angel that when it enters, you search for basic planes or a 1-mana value creature, I think, and then put it into your hand, which I'm like, for 2 mana, that seems like really good, and then you can recast it later for 5 if you even care about doing that. So it's like a 4-rev in a deck that seems pretty good. There's the one that's, if you make a token, you make 2 of those tokens instead, or whatever, and you're like, cool.
Exalted Sunborn for 3 white with flying and lifelink, just in case the rest of the text wasn't good enough. You get the token doubler on that. Truly, they took a look at Baneslayer Angel and said, what if you were also Anointed Procession? So that exists now. Speaking of that Eldrazi that we mentioned earlier, Anti-Causal Vestige. When this creature leaves the battlefield, draw a card, then you may put a permanent card with mana value less than or equal to the number of lands you control from your hand onto the battlefield tapped. It's got Warp for 4, its real cost is 6, and it's a 7/5. And so far, I think it's the only Eldrazi that we've seen. So perhaps we get a singular reference to Eldrazi and a singular reference to Slivers this set? Question mark?
Yeah, there's that. I think because they did, Morrow did drop that in the early teaser thing. It's like, okay, if we get, I can handle one, because it turns out one of the groups is a dedicated Eldrazi hunting group, which is like really interesting. More on that during Quinn's story time in the future.
Oh my gosh, dude. They gave us a whole new fucking universe to just run around in, and they have taken advantage of that with the story, in that there are 11 chapters in main story and several chapters of side story on top of that. And I wish to bring you all of that.
Yeah, because it looks like it, like from what I've seen, there's a lot going on, so I do need to get on that.
There's a lot going on, and I am just like steeping my brain in the warm water that is the lore of the set. I'm having a good time.
But let's talk about at least the one other thing that I can think of off the top of my head that is part of the set. Like similar in functionality to spacecrafts are planets, where you do you charge. Do they put charge counters on them or something? I can't remember.
Yeah, it's a land with station, and then whenever you do the station thing, you put the charge counters on the planet equal to the power of the thing that you're stationing it with.
Cool.
And then they're charge counters, so anything that interacts with that is fun and cool and good for you to use, and you can proliferate. And then once you get to a certain threshold on these planets, they all have a functionally pretty busted ability.
Yeah, let's take a look at Adagia. Adagia, Windswept Bastion. It's a planet and it's just tapped. It taps for white and it has station. When you get to 12 plus, it gains an activated ability of 3 and a white, tap, create a token that's a copy of target artifact or enchantment you control, except its legendary, activate only as a sorcery. So first of all, this allows you to not heavily abuse it and just start making a bunch of token copies of the same thing over and over and over again, which is like pretty cool.
Yeah, I guess I'll have to break the legend rule if I want to be a true sinner with this, but otherwise I'll take my singular copy of Summon Bahamut. I think that's fine.
Yeah, no. Actually, hold on. Speaking of, my friends and I were going to the wedding last weekend, and we were waiting for the ferry, and he's like, Cole. I'm like, yes, and he hands me his phone, and he's got Arena on it. He's like, play standard for me, go, and he drops it in my hands. I'm like, oh, what the fuck am I playing? And I'm pretty sure it was a Bant version of Yuna to like bring out, like, cheat out Bahamut.
Okay, sick.
So you use the blue Dragonstorm enchantments to like draw and discard cards, pitching your Bahamut or like whatever your overlords or whatever into the graveyard. And then you bring out Yuna and go to your end step and bring one of those out to like ramp you or just bring out Bahamut or whatever. And then bring your Dragonstorm back in your hand so you can keep doing that. And I was just like,
That's a pretty neat take on that.
I was getting into Yuna Bahamut mirror matches in like Abzan.
Yeah, that's the other deck that I've seen is Abzan Yuna, where their main target is summon Primal Odin so that they can blow up your singular blocker and then kill you.
And then just kill
turn.
you. Yeah, so I was like, what the fuck? What dark future are we looking at for Standard
Just
right
like,
now?
what the fuck am I doing over here in Bant when they're just cutting people's heads off in Abzan?
Yeah, although I was seeing a bunch of people scooping when they realized that like you just play another Yuna and then bring up a Bahamut or whatever, and they're just like, well, fuck this. So yeah, making another copy of Bahamut using this land is not not impossible. The sorcery speed thing, you know, some people are going to be like, oh, what this? I can't do this on my off turn. Magic players can't be trusted, but here we are. I don't know. We got a juicy set coming up. There's a lot of cool stuff in it.
I do think Station 12 is kind of a big ask. So this is definitely a thing that's not going to happen until the late game, I'm thinking. Or
I mean, I guess it depends on like you said, it's equal to like the power of the creatures. So like if we're looking at like just consistently crewing stuff, like you put your utility stuff out, I don't know. I am not as tuned in preview season right now. Just mostly because like I'm busy playing Peak. But we're still kind of like, again, I feel like I am maybe kind of feeling like the fatigue of like rushing right into another thing. It's also just very overwhelming because the spacecrafts are probably like the one thing about the set that I just straight up don't give a shit about, and everything else is like cool. Like the artwork is phenomenal. The artwork this set has going on right now, like I think we were already talking about, someone was talking about Dominic Mayer earlier, like in I think the Legendary Creature Discord, and we're just like, damn, going nuts again. Benjamin E, the AKA for his screen name, the Boy of Cheese, was doing some artwork for this set too. I think for one of the angels that we were talking about, and it's just like, it's absolutely like just like drop dead gorgeous, like cool artwork. Like there's some weird psychedelic shit going on here. There's every kind of conceivable sci-fi trope.
All of the angels in this setting are beings made of light called the Esteli, and they look fucking beautiful. They're like living, like flowy purple and pink and yellow glowy figures, and it's just so good, man. Art is really good for Magic the Gathering. We're so spoiled.
The Esteli Reclaimers specifically, with Benjamin's E's artwork of, first of all, this card is also cool because it has warp. A 5-mana 5/4 with flying, where when it enters you O-ring non-creature non-land permanent with mana value X or less until it leaves, and with warp you just get get rid of that thing for now or reset something.
Yeah, this is a blink spell on the warp cast and then an O-ring on the actual cast, which is pretty cool. Oh, hang on.
No, it's
Return
a reanimation
target.
spell.
Oh, I'm thinking.
Never mind. Okay, still sick. I love this. This is awesome.
Hey gamers, read the card.
I thought it was an O-ring too, but you know what? Anyway, I don't know. There's a lot of stuff going on this set. It's kind of hard to just kind of, I don't know, I'm thinking about Audric. That's the only thing that matters. Anything else that comes afterward is usually in retrospect. Like, I don't give a shit. I don't have time. Which is why, like, Sammy and those angels are, like, on the top of the consideration list, on top of, like, I don't know, where's that other Reckless Fire Weaver adjacent card that's in this set? Like, I've seen it. I know it's here.
Yeah, it's in here. You'll find it.
The Weft Stalker Ardent, which is 2 and a red for a 2/3 Drix Artificer, where another creature or artifact you control enters, this creature deals 1 damage to each opponent with a warp of 1 red. So, damn, we eating good this set. Holy shit.
Hell yeah.
So yeah, EOE previews, obviously, again, not a review podcast, but it is cool to look at some cards and be like, damn, that is cool. Some of these new effects, very interesting. Still got to look into ways of absorbing the story.
Yeah, I think I gotta just
osmosis.
put all of these planets in my deck and test them out that way, because, only way to find out.
Mm-hmm. And listen, if you think a card is bad, you can go message Empress Quinn and let Faye know what you think, and then Faye will tell you that you are bad because the card is actually good because Faye actually played it.
No, I probably just won't answer, dude.
Oh, well, there's that too. Let's talk about a couple extra content that I have absorbed. Brand new Ristic Studies episode came out of Final Fantasy, Magic's adaptation of Final Fantasy.
Nice.
Through the lens of someone that has not played any Final Fantasy until the making of the episode, which usually takes months and months and months of research. I think it's been about a couple months since he started working on it.
Did he play some Final Fantasies?
Yeah. Played Final Fantasy 5.
Weird choice, but okay.
But he got the Pixel collection. So
okay.
I don't know where and when exactly where it's going to take him or anything. I just know that for most people when it comes to Final Fantasy, they're either going to jump into it because of Magic, or it will remind them to go back and play it, which a bunch of us are doing anyway because it's Final Fantasy, right?
It sure is.
So yeah, it's a good episode, so I would encourage people to go take a look into that. It's good, about half hour, 40 minutes, I think. And then Legendary Creature Podcast, excuse me. Annie and Kyle had an episode come out about niche card viability. So basically, the long and short of it is there a card that you've been wanting to put in that is just not strictly as good, but then can create a cool or novel gaming experience? And also just other considerations of how much mileage you can get out of some of these cards. How many times have you been sitting there and being like, damn, I got this card that I want to put in here, but I don't know what to do. Just cut the card. Just cut a card for the day or the next set of games or whatever. See if you can play that particular card that you're slotting in and just play it. And then see how it works out. You might find that swap, is that swap for better or for worse? You just got to sit down and figure it out. Just make a cut. Come back later if you're like, nah, I got to put that card back in. I realize I really missed it. Stuff like that. They had a good run on that episode. It was nice going back through it for another couple listens and, talk about potatoes or whatever.
Yeah, that was a good listen. Definitely interesting to think about the card inclusions for decks and the decisions that we make when we're including cards and all of that, and how it leads to this metagame and format or whatever. Man, Magic the Gathering.
Yeah. So instead of making another deck and having no idea how the card interacts with your deck, just make the cut. All right. I don't have much else content-wise to talk about outside of check us out on MTG Lexicon, the Dive Bar VDH. I am going to be playing D&D on Friday. We also have Missy guesting for a special one-shot. Bjorn's running a heist one-shot, so we're going to see how that works out.
Nice, hell yeah. We love heist.
From what I heard, and maybe this is spoilers, but I think by the time this episode comes out, the thing's going to be literally the next day. Messy is a cat girl thief. So I was like, great. And I'm going to be a tiefling cleric of the trickery domain. So I'm going to be kind of being the support. We're going to see how that works out. I've called my character Trick Xeris because I was like, I don't know, that seems like a cool name. And I wanted the trickery domain in Baldur's Gate 3 with Shadowheart is like not exactly like it. How it functions in tabletop is like really cool because you can cast spells through like your illusory doubles and stuff. And then later, I think you can start casting like healing spells using them as like the conduit, so you can like do your spectral heal bot that can't actually take damage out into the field and just like tap someone back to life or whatever. But we're level 2. It's not going to be super duper exciting. It's going to be interesting to see what Matt allows us to do because I have no flipping clue what's going to happen. But I'm excited.
Yeah, that is exciting. We love unknown territory.
So let's go off to brews off the shelf. What you got? You got some stuff. You went out in public.
Yeah, I have been thinking about going out to the LGS to play some games for the first time since like March of the Machine for a little bit now, and we finally made that happen, and that was a good experience. Glad to have gone outside and played games with real people, like in person or whatever. So I guess metagame discussion.
Okay.
It's the fucking MTGO metagame.
Oh no! Oh no! Oh brother! Yeah,
Which
no.
isn't to say that it was horrible, but it is to say that these people like their good cards and they're going to play their good cards and they're not making those considerations that are being made in the wider like content creation or smoking mids metagame. So I came through with a bracket 2 deck, my Owling Mine list, which like honestly the fact that even in bracket 2 pods I don't play that everywhere is like, this is not all the way bracket 2.
Yeah.
That's my bracket 1 deck anyway. So yeah, I brought that, and then we had some 3s that were also appropriate. We had Josh and Catgirl Supreme, and we, based on the decks that everybody else was serving, we ended up only playing the 3s, and it was appropriate. And we had a lovely time playing those games. So game 1, we played Catgirl Supreme in a 3-player game. There was me and Kranko and the one. It's the Kranko that you think it is.
Yes, all right, got it.
The War Doctor and Blue Clara Oswald.
Okay, that's a neat little dynamic.
Yeah, so Kranko is like out the gate with the goblins, doing the goblin thing and sending a lot of damage at gamers with the goblin pile driver, and kind of just like makes a decision to aggro the War Doctor out of the game. It was really a coin toss because like the way that the War Doctor's constructed, if they cast a cascade spell that's like a low enough mana value, they can cascade through their entire deck and put a bunch of time counters on the War Doctor
and then just laser you in the face.
Exactly, yeah, do like a death laser to you, and you like don't have a whole lot of warning. So I respect making that decision and taking them out before they could do that to you, but also I'm the control deck, and if you give me the time to set up, I will run away with the game.
So what were you playing?
What happened there? I was on Catgirl Supreme.
Right, which is what again for the class?
Yeah, it's a control deck.
No, but what is the commander?
Oh, Y'shtola, Knight's Blessed.
Okay, thank you. You're like, yeah, I was playing Catgirl Supreme. Quinn, there's only a select amount of people that like we play with, let alone the people that listen to this podcast, that will know what you mean by Catgirl Supreme until you emphasize what Catgirl Supreme means.
You know what? Fair.
If I tried to go, let's say today, right now, I'll go chat with my friends that I was at the wedding with, like including the groom. Be like, hey guys, do you know what Catgirl Supremes in regards to like Final Fantasy Magic the Gathering cards? And they'll be like, what?
Yeah, if somebody tells you that they're playing a control deck and their commander's Catgirl Supreme, you take a wild guess at what their commander is, and
you're wrong.
Me,
You
based
get
on the information that I have, I think it's Y'shtola Knight's Blessed.
You get three guesses, and if you don't know, you're just gonna be wrong every time because you don't even know this card exists. But so, yeah, Y'shtola's this card.
She's an extremely powerful Magic the Gathering card.
One of the things that had me laughing about you playing Y'shtola last weekend along with Brandon was you were both missing the end step trigger to lose a life and draw a card. Oh, you don't even lose life. You just draw. You just draw a card.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
If somebody lost 4 or more life, then yeah, you get to draw a card on end step, and she's checking every end step, and I'm always forgetting that she's checking every end step.
Yeah. Yeah. I thought it was funny, and I just wanted to point this out because we're going to be going through the rest of your games out and about. But I thought it was funny when we were talking about like pre-con color combinations with like Benoit and Hen and Light and Medusa. And they were like, oh yeah, look, oh here's all these Esper ones. I'm like, fucking Esper. Or yeah, I'm like, no, it wasn't Esper, it was Jeskai. It's like
Jeskai, that's the
they're
one.
Making,
the fucking,
they're making too many Jeskai decks.
And there's shit in the group chat.
They're like, what the fuck are you talking
like,
about? I'm like,
dude,
you don't
what are you
understand.
Talking about? Jesse, what the fuck are you talking about?
I am tuned the fuck in. There's so many. I was like, how do they go 2 or 3 sets back to back with a bunch of Jeskai precons? Cole, everyone's like, Cole, what the fuck are you talking about? And then sure enough,
just like, were you personally victimized by Jeskai or something? What is this? And then we actually ran the numbers, and you were not unfounded. They are actually a higher percentage of Jeskai precons as, compared to the rest of them.
Which is quite shocking to learn, really. But it was like, oh my god, like, come on.
Yeah, I don't know. I think every time you end up with a Universes Beyond Zed where there's heroes, that tends towards Jeskai.
Yeah, but they also did that. I mean, okay, then there was the freaking Redwall set. Like, yeah, okay, sure. Bloomborough also happens to have the heroes represented by Jeskai, I guess,
Which,
you know.
yeah, let me just go ahead and check the notes there. Mabel, heir to Cragflame, the face card of the set, basically, who is red-white. Yep, okay.
See, and I could have accepted that or something, you know, like, I would, like, I don't know, like, I could be going on for hours about, like, so if they're doing pre-cons for nearly every Magic set, they do it every Magic set, and then they do more than 2 per set, like, I don't know, take a chance with like the color combinations, and then now we're here at Edge of Eternities, and they're like, all right, let's read the room. We're gonna make a Jund precon, and we're gonna make a Jeskai precon. We're fucking geniuses. Like, oh my god. Like, I don't do another Esper deck. I don't know, just do it. It's ridiculous.
Wanted a charge counters deck and a lands deck, and if you put a lands deck in a color that's not Jund, people are asking you why this is not Jund lands. And
do Sultai lands. I don't know.
They already did that basically last set with Teval.
And now they're doing a robot charge counter thing where it'll probably synergize with the Jeskai robots deck that cares about energy that can proliferate the energy.
Yep.
Yeah. I just feel like, I don't know.
And just like how that Jund Lands precon will synergize with your checks notes Jund Lands precon.
Jund Lands precon. And then I was just thinking about it, like, okay, and then let's look over at Aether Drift. You're like, in Aether Drift, you got the Esper zombie deck that synergizes with your Esper and Dimir zombie decks, and Yeah, I don't know. I know precons are a good jumping off point for a lot of different reasons. But I just feel as if for this particular set, considering that they've chosen specifically to only have 2 commander precons, and they feel very tame. Like, I feel like we could be doing just a bit more, but
I don't know, bro. Have you played the decks?
no, and I'm not going to.
Then wherefore dost thou say that they feel tame?
I don't know, it's just Jund landfall and Jeskai robot proliferate whatever, artifacts.
All right, how about you play the decks before you go roasting them online?
I don't know, let's see how Brandon can get a precon into my hands. We'll find out. Okay, so that was your game 1 in a 3-person pod, which we just know how that can go. Very swinging in one person's direction unintentionally.
Yeah.
What I noticed that you skipped game 2. Was there anything to note about it?
Yeah, game 2 I played Joshua, so that was a different.
That was going to be the
that's why it's
later.
in a
All
different
right,
section. Yeah.
fantastic. Okay, I see. I understand. We will go back in time after we go forward in time to game 3.
Yeah. Game 3, we play Catgirl Supreme again, and this one has a full table, so that feels good. We've got Shiko and Narset on Jeskai spells. We've got Giada on Mono White Angels. We've got the Myco Tyrant on Black Green Descend, and of course, I'm on Catgirl Supreme control. They're moving cards between Zens, them Shiko and Narset and Myco Tyrant decks. They're putting cards into their graveyard and looking at cards and putting cards in their hand, generating pretty sizable board states, and Giada's doing the Giada thing where you cast an angel and the angel is bigger than the other angels that you played because of the text on Giada.
Mm-hmm.
And they're getting in for aerial damage every turn, which feels really good. I am interacting at key moments that are particularly threatening to me, like the instance where I hit the that annoying blue spell from Throne of Eldraine and counter it unless they pay 3. Mystical Dispute, there we go, that's the one. So yeah, we countered a Beastmaster Ascension that was an attempt to win the game.
Woo!
And that bought us a couple of turns. In that time, the Jeskai Spells deck was able to cast and fork a Curse of the Swine, just completely removing all of the threats from the battlefield, so that felt good. But I also had to recast Catgirl Supreme, which did not feel good. The thing that did make up for it, though, was I drew my way into some of the Teferis in the deck, which let me just, untap my more than 1 sources of mana. The bounce lands and the mana rocks the tap for 2, and just generating a bunch of mana that way, keeping mana up and being very annoying with my full grip of cards and my potential for responses, I guess, and drawing cards in everybody's end steps and shit. I'm I had a pretty full grip, so I'm refilling and drawing more cards, and I'm drawing aggro that's proportionate to the cards that I'm drawing.
Yeah.
So people are sending aggro my way, and I'm trying my best to parry that where I can and taking the beats where I can't and ensuring that where we are taking the damage, we're going to make sure we're draw a card about it, so it's at least 4. Ultimately, though, the graveyard deck gets the W in the long game. They jump through 5 hoops to get back their Beastmaster Ascension. They have a land that they activate to put a thing back in their hand, and then they cast the thing, and it's an Eternal Witness, so they use that to get back the Beastmaster Ascension. I think it's a witch's cottage. Yeah, there we go. They had a way to put that on top of their library, the Eternal Witness, and then draw the Eternal Witness and cast the Eternal Witness to pick up Beastmaster Ascension and cast that. And then they were able to put the rest of us in the dirt with combat damage that way. And you know what? I made them fucking jump through some hoops and a half to get there, so we'll take that.
Damn. I do find that yes, when it does get to that kind of nitty gritty of interactiveness between players over the course of a game, and you're not immediately fighting for your life, you're okay, turn 5 I'm going to kill you, and you're just oh, okay, and then they're okay, I've staved off death, and they're like, all right, turn 6. I am now back into a game-winning board state, and I'm going to kill you again. And you're just like, oh, if you do get to go through that like grindy like. You know that I know that you know that I know that I need to get this Beastmaster Ascension out to win the game, and you're just like, oh god, like the race to that can be pretty good and exhilarating. But what a good spread of commanders. We got like more modern, like Gyada's like the oldest one of the pod chronologically.
Myco, but still
Myco Tyrant Dents always spook the shit out of me, like every time I see them.
Because like, how am I like, short of staxing your graveyard, interacting with that is not easy or nice. Like, I'm supposed to play like Knight of Souls Betrayal and just like kill all your tokens as they enter as a state-based effect, or the things that I can do are extremely rude. So I guess I gotta just Bajuga bug you repeatedly and then cut your head off. You know how it is.
But no, that's also I'm just laughing because you're like, oh, I gotta rant about all these freaking Jeskai decks, and there's a Shiko and Narset there, and then low-key I'm like, I think I might build a Shiko deck. I don't know.
Oh, dude, Shiko and Narset tried to cast this Windfall, and they were looking at my cards in hand all greedily because I'm like, I'm there.
I have 20 cards.
Yeah, definitely thinking they're gonna get these cards, and I'm just like, I have a Dream Trawler on board, and I'm looking at everybody else who would also be reloading up to 7 off of me. And I'm like, my card advantage is too strong. No way, dude. So I discard down to 4.
I would like to cast Windfall. All right, cool. In response, get fucked.
I'll activate Dream Trawler. I'll activate Dream Trawler. I'll activate Dream Trawler. And everybody's just like, no.
I always love casting, not Reforge the Soul specifically, but just any like wheel effect where people are like, no, my plans. Like, oh no. I always like that compared to like I'm now going to Windfall you 20 times. Like, oh no, don't do this to me.
I think Wheels' hand disruption is very funny.
Yeah, pretty good stuff. We'll go back.
For me.
We'll go back to your game 2 in a sec here. All right, so this is good old #Bloodrick posting moment. I haven't done it in a while, mostly because like as I've been trying to get reps in with newer decks and everything, but I busted up Bloodrick this last weekend because I was like, all right, let's get the pulse check. What is going on with the deck? And what am I looking forward to with another set just coming out, especially when the only thing that I did with the last few sets is 1 card from Final Fantasy, and I want to say about 2 cards from Dragonstorm, and then like 2 cards, maybe 3 off the top of my head from Aether Drift, along with like whatever other considerations and swaps that I made, right? The deck truly is reaching like its apex. Like, it's very hard to justify or find cuts because everything about the deck, and I've been thinking about writing an article about it. I just don't know where to put it or like how long that would take, because like, how do you talk about
the article first and worry about the rest of that later?
Yeah, right. Like, okay, so for example, let's talk about like the things that were added recently that like have felt very good, or initially were added in, taken out, and then put back in retrospect, right? Soulbring was taken out because that's
fine.
The hybrid angel devil being known as Light was hovering on my shoulder, being like, you should probably cut Soulbring from this deck. And I'm like, well, I am aiming for like dedicated bracket 2 gameplay. I think I can do that. The trade-off being is that Soul Talisman has been starting to feel bad. Like, every time I get my hands on it, and I'm not able to, like, bring it back, use it, like, I don't have, like, a Sun Titan adjacent effect, like, it's starting to feel really bad, so I'm not sure if I cut it, and if I do, what do I kind of put in its place, right? Then, like, I had Getaway Glamour in from Thunder Junction and then took it out and put it back in to a mostly positive result because being able to... Something gets really big and it happens to not be indestructible and you just pop it. Like, that's great. And it being a kind of delayed flicker effect, it's always good. Glory Heath Lynx was one that I was initially not too sure about, and I didn't even really get to use it when I played it on our game the other night, but being able to get basic planes to at least guarantee some land drops, regardless, as long as it's saddled. Like, it's just, if it's saddled, get a basic planes put in your hands. That's pretty good for a 2.
I love to search my library for my next land drop, so I'm in on anything that lets me do that.
Yeah. Shocking Sharpshooter, having a keyword, and then being able to deal 1 damage for any creature that's entering in a deck that's specifically about flickering and bringing stuff back and all this other stuff. It adds up really quickly, so it's felt like a no-brainer. Lightning Army of 1, which I hadn't, ever since I got the card and put it in the deck, I haven't seen it yet, but this thing is just freaking so stupid. Like,
yep.
They cooked
I've gotten to cast her, I think, twice, and one time she got instantly removed before she could do her thing, which was appropriate. And then the other time I did get to tag somebody, and then the board got wiped.
Damn, can't have shit around here.
Truly can't.
So yeah, high expectations for her, especially again with like the sharpshooter and like some of the other stuff in the deck. Monument to Endurance, fucking what? Like, this card's... I have played with this card. I have played with this card in this deck, and it's fucking as nutty as you think it is, and it is. I put in Sage of the Skies from Dragonstorm, and it's just a 3-mana 2/3 with flying and lifelink that if you cast another spell, you can make a copy of it, and flyers win games or whatever. It's a humble 2/3, but you know what? It's going to punch you in the face and give me some life. And you know what? It helped me win the game the other night, so it did its job. Thalia Heretic Athar was one that was always kind of like coming in and out of the deck, because I always thought that like just First Strike didn't feel good enough. But when I've seen what my blind obediences have done recently, it just felt like a natural conclusion, and she's done the work as well. I was on a charity stream about a month ago, and poor Trap was playing Xenagod, and he could just not have anything stick around long enough because it would enter, and he couldn't do anything with it, and then, like, something else would happen. You know, it miraculously got blown up or whatever. The Wrath was going on there, and then I had Thalia stick around somehow.
That's fucking rough. You think you're gonna get to swing with your big bomb because your guy's gonna give it haste, and they're just like, actually, it comes in tapped. Also, I'm casting a Fleshback Marauder.
Yeah. I took out Ascent from Avernus because I found that the triple white X was actually pretty rough to kind of like play around with. Like, so I put in Storm of Souls from that Crimson Vow, the Midnight Hunt commander stuff, where you return all cards from your graveyard to the battlefield except their 1/1 spirits with flying, and then you exile the card, which, like, sure, like, I need my body's back out. There's some anthems, there's some pingers, there's some other ATB effects that could be pretty relevant. You get a Jorkadine out, you're like, cool, like, I'm loving it, right? So we are truly at, like, the most I have meticulously been brewing with this deck for, I think it is coming up 4 years this year or something.
Oh, shit, dude, you've been at that proverbial whetstone for quite some time. No wonder these cuts are agonizing.
The Nippon steel folded 1,000 times, 1,000,000 times. The blade is so sharp, like, except it's not that sharp because, like, this shit.
It is a finely tuned bracket 2 experience.
And so, like, when I'm looking at the fact that I looked at Final Fantasy and I feel like there could be some other cards that can go on the deck, but like it just doesn't have the infrastructure like the and like Lightning coming in felt like a no-brainer because she just hit every single conceivable check mark that I could ask for
to get
a card.
A slot in that deck at this point, you do have to be the caliber of Lightning Army of One. Like you have to be serving that many
and then of course
and that strong of a paragraph of text.
And then so I'm looking at Edge of Eternities and I'm like, okay, Sammy Wildcat Captain of being like, okay, so mana value aside, because sometimes I just don't really give a shit. It's a 4/4 with double strike and vigilance, which by itself is like a great like haymaker card. Like people do just be taking 8 damage sometimes because of whatever. And then they're like, shit.
To windmill slam that in limited and have my opponent just fucking concede.
Yeah, they're like, I don't have my kill spells. And then spells having to have affinity for artifacts. There are so many things that are just circumstantially artifacts, or yes, in my commander's case, makes the tokens necessary to then you just be like, cool. I will now continue to just pseudo storm off of getting all my bangers out, and then they have haste for whatever goddamn reason, and then I just turn stuff sideways. You know, like we're reaching that threshold of the deck where like this is the most agonizing thing, and then it comes down to probably the question in a lot of people's heads, of course, of like, hey, why is, if Audric's in the command zone, like what is really holding this deck back? And the answer is nothing, because I won the game the other night by not casting Bloodrick. I didn't have to cast him at all because I didn't have my normal like artifact synergy pieces. Like I didn't have Sunshot Militia or Reckless Fireweaver and that ilk, you know, like it just I didn't need it. Does that mean like, am I reaching a dangerous point of the deck where I need to like maybe reconsider what I'm doing with it? No, because I'm still getting the gameplay experiences out of it that I want. And I know Kyle and Andy talked about it on the Legendary Creature podcast about like how kind of like the pet peeve of having a bad card in the command zone. But the more that I've played with the deck and the more that I played with Audric over the course of, you know, again, 3.5, 4 years coming up, like my assessment of the card has radically changed from like, I'm going to make this deck out of spite to I'm going to continue to play this deck because I appreciate the goalpost of like, okay, it's not just Boros keywords, etc. Like, how do you kind of make it all finally come together with like blood tokens and everything? And I don't know how many times like people were like, damn, this guy and his fucking blood tokens, what is he up to? It does the work. Pseudo card advantage, or just, you know, card selection in the zone, even with as narrow as a criteria of how many keywords can I get out of him, blah, blah, blah. He's doing the work. He's done the work still. I can think about if I started considering putting any other Boros legend in the zone that vaguely synergized with the deck, and but it just happened to actually draw a card. Or
oh, you mean like Joshua?
Yeah, like what if I put Joshua in, you know? Like
you should literally just try that exact deck 1-for-1, but Joshua instead of Bloodrick, and see what happens.
I'd be curious to see what happens, you know. Yeah, like you know, would that suddenly mean that the deck gets marginally better or exponentially better with that swap of like what is the pristine card in the command zone, you know? I shudder to think of what would happen. And yeah, I don't know. Ramble over, but I've been deep. I've been going back into the Bloodrick mines on and off the last few sets, and yeah, I've made a bunch of Final Fantasy decks, and I probably have one in the pipeline. I don't know, and a bunch of Dragonstorm cards that I thought about, and Aether Drift and everything. So now it's like, okay, if Edge of Eternities isn't going to be bringing me anything, what's kind of like the next step, and what am I doing, and the why and why nots and the justification. So I don't know. Article I'm thinking about for the deck, just to talk about like card selection and everything. And also, I just to kind of hint of another idea of what I was having in mind. So when Karo Itsuki was doing those deck reviews on stream, like I think last year, when he got the deck and he's just like, I don't get it. Like, what's going on here, right? Because he was thinking about Audric Lunark Marshall, and I think the one thing I can say, just to justify it, is like, why don't I have that Audric in this deck? Because it would be highly synergistic. And it's like, well, because I didn't want to highlight the character in all of his versions. I wanted to highlight the character is this particular card. If I put Lunark Marshall in and he just starts pulling a monumentally way more weight, then like I feel like the whole kind of thesis statement falls apart. So that's where I'm like, I have to like not only triple down in the deck, but then also make my whole social media presence about being this dude. Like, you know, I just think this card's cool, even if it's like, I can't even say it's bad anymore because of the fucking dumb horse shit that I get away with. Like, there's just so much, there's so much you can do with this guy as like a Boros. You can do Boros equipment, you can do Boros artifacts, you can do Boros, yes, keyword, but like, how do you make the keyword thing? Like, if you go the equipment route, you could be like, cool, make your own monster. You know, have your little 1/1 dude hold 20 pieces of equipment, have Audric enter the battlefield, make blood tokens, play Arterial Alchemy or Bludgeon Brawl, and then play Brunor Battlehammer and equip all of your 0-cost blood swords to Brunor, and he gets +2/+0 for each equipment attached to him, and you suddenly make like a 40 whatever fuck off dude, and you're like, yes, dance for me.
Brunor is that dude.
He is that fucking dude. So like, and that's just one thing, right? And I'm just taking it from like the, how do I meld keywords? How do I meld keyworded creatures with Reanimator and artifacts? And this is kind of like where I'm at with it, and it's also very much like doing aggro bullshit of like, cool, I will turn my army of like 3/3, 4/4, and 5/5 flying menace trample dudes sideways. Like, Aurelia the Law Above was fucking doing work the other night.
Oh
like,
my god,
so good. They're like, oh no, okay, it's time to wipe the board. I'm like, but what if I save her though? And I was like, fuck.
That was so tilting. I'm just like, none of this mattered then. You still get to keep the angel.
Yeah, and then I put more creatures out and I attack with your creatures and I trigger to draw a card. It was good. It was like, again, long and short of it, if you've reached this point, is damn, I have a good time with this deck and putting it together. And oh my god, it's so agonizing to be like, why even look at any other sets? I'm going to fucking vomit. I've been eating too good. So yeah, that game will be on the VOD or whatever. And it was a good time, especially because did I not take everyone out at the end, or it was just 2 people left? I can't remember.
I do not remember.
But I did end up being like, it's time to sweep up, and sure enough, I did. So yeah, let's go talk about other Boros stuff, huh?
Yeah, let's take a look at that. Man. I didn't have a great game with this.
No?
Oh,
no.
Joshua. No, it sucked. I did my best, though. I played against an Arami of the Dead Tide, a Wooburg Terra, the like summoner RP experience, and a Zergo from the Dragonstorm set. I think it was a
like the main set.
The Commander deck Zergo.
Okay.
So I played my Stoneforge Mystic when I had her. I think she was on like turn 3 or something like that. And then the Sword of Hearth and Home we played on the turn after that and equipped it when we could. Then we tried to go to combat and connect with the Zergo mage, establishing their board state with the red-white impact tremors enchantment.
Oh, War Leader's Call?
Yes, War Leader's Call.
Yeah.
So I try and get in on combat damage on them, and the fucking Arami and Looters and Reanimator deck has just, they've already gotten their shit established. They were able to reanimate a, All-Seeing Arbiter is the card's a real name, but I always call him Dr. Manhattan because, well, if you look at
Dr.
the card,
Manhattan
if you look
looking
at
ass.
Dr. Manhattan, you know why. And so yeah, they'd already gotten established with that guy. So anytime they discard a card, they're nerfing creatures' attack power until their next turn by the number of mana values in their graveyard. So they basically tap a dude, discard a card, draw a card, and my guy is -4/-0, which it had 4 power at that time. So I'm not dealing combat damage. I'm not reducing Zergo players' life total. I'm not getting my combat damage trigger on the Sword of Blink and Ramp. We're not finding another basic. We're not getting another fucking knife. Basically, we got fucking time walked.
Damn.
And all it took was them drawing and discarding a card. It felt fucking ruinous. So we passed the turn, and the Wooburg Terra Mage, I think, is setting up with quite the formidable board state. They've got a Summon Titan that they've cast, and they've like been milling the whole time because Terra does that, and they were leaning into the graveyard aspect of things. So they've got a bunch of fucking lands in their graveyard, and we're all like panicking about the Titan when they pass the turn because we're just like, shit, fuck, we don't want to see them put like 15 lands into play. Oh no, what are we gonna do?
Yeah.
So Zergo sends some creatures at them. We get in there for damage. I finally get a combat damage trigger off on Arami this time for fucking with my shit. So we were able to blink our Stoneforge Mystic finally and also find another knife. It just really felt too little too late though, because everybody's like taking 4 or 5 game actions a turn at this point, and I'm just like,
Yeah.
this is my one thing. And then the other thing that I have to do is spend my whole fucking turn casting this white aura site to exile the Summon Titan so that we don't lose the game next turn.
Oh my god. Yeah, you really are just going through it, huh?
I was just like fighting for my life and getting just fucking battered around and not getting everything. Stuff is not going my way, and I would like for things to go my way. Basically.
You and every commander player ever, Quinn.
Yeah. Get all of our collective asses. So yeah, we end up taking the L that game. Zergo clinches it with Impact Tremors damage, and I just, man, it's tough, dude.
I think the unfortunate part is, like, I'm looking through your list, right? Like, I see the vision. I see every equipment card that you can conceivably, like, so you have the Final Fantasy cards, right? Like, you're like, cool.
Yep.
It's a Final Fantasy deck. Gonna play some Final Fantasy ass cards in this deck. You can't stop me. I gotta do it. It's the new shit. I gotta get it in here. And then you have your equipment, and you have your equipment tutors, and you have like Joshua to dig you, and then you can reanimate your Stoneforge Mystic and your Cloud and all this other shit. And then it's just like, if you don't have the things fall in place for you to, like, if Joshua comes out and you reverse Faithless Looting and like you still don't have shit, you're like, oh fuck, like what do I do? And if people are like stonewalling you from being able, like, doing a delayed Stoneforge, you said on turn 3, right? Like you do Stoneforge.
Yeah, so I didn't even get to have it on the turn that I wanted.
Like if you drew into it on turn 3, I'd be like, yeah, okay, like I get it. But like the fact that like you have to delay, and then you get sort of Hearth and Home because, you know, that card's great. But if people can stonewall you from fucking getting in or blow it up, like there's just everything about this whole premise where I'm like, damn, this fucking sucks. Like,
yeah,
big
it was just
time.
gonna be a rough game to be an aggro mage in, I think, and I just, you know,
Yeah.
sometimes that's the matchup.
Yep. And shit, that's rough. That's so rough. You hate to see it. You really do.
Yeah.
Like
You just
everything
gotta
about
shrug it
this.
off and run it
When
back.
when I'm thinking about how, you're like, well, this is like it's not it is bracket 3 by like game changer definition with like some tutory stuff where you probably recur the equipment tutors and so on, but
Yeah, the density of tutors is pretty high, and I'm on my allotted 3 game changers. So, like, the spirit of this is to be bracket 3, but I am playing Boros equipment, which, like, and I don't have, like, it's not as focused as it could be, I guess.
you're like, oh, I guess the Final Fantasy like dilutes it a bit or whatever, I guess.
No, it's just that I put a bunch of good Boros cards in a pile that were on my desk, basically.
It doesn't
If
work.
I like was
One
playing
thing,
the other version of this, that's the Final Fantasy Boros aggro, it's a little bit tighter.
yeah. One of the things I noted during the last weekend when I was playing Clive and we were talking about like Joshua and everything, which my friend, no, did he make Joshua? No. The fact that Flames of Rebirth can bring back Clive just wholesale.
Yeah, that was pretty flavorful and exciting to me. I was just like, it's just like the game.
I just like the game. Yeah. I'm so happy to see where Boros has gotten to. And yes, even like the equipment side of things, like you can do some pretty excitable stuff, even though sometimes it can feel a little bit too easy to pull some stuff off. But I'm glad to see like more support, like Raban and Freya Crescent to go along with like Akiri Fearless Voyager and Zach Fair and Weapon Vendor and all that other stuff. Like it's really freaking cool.
Yeah, I've made some selections that are maybe not the best in serving number go up technology. Like, I'm not like Stoneforge Mystic, find the Colossus Hammer to cast that and equip that with Raban or those
but hold on.
cheats.
Oh, so you just reminded me.
Yeah.
Let's talk about Arena for a quick second here.
Okay.
So what I usually do is I'm like, okay, I want to get like the feel of like a card as a commander. So I had Tidus Blitzball Star as my Brawl commander, the uncommon one. He's a good old 3-mana 2/1 with whenever an artifact you control enters, put a +1 counter on Tidus, and then whenever he attacks, tap target creature an opponent controls. Because, if I'm not playing Azorius bullshit, freezing tap down.
Stunner. Hashtag star player the Xanarkin Dabes.
Oh my god. So I, of course, was like, well, if I put artifacts into play, then it put +1 counter on him, and then we go to town, right? So you pay 1 mana to put Colossus Hammer out after the fact. And then you cast a little cool card called Resolute Strike. It's a 1 white instant from Zendikar Rising. Target creature gets +2/+2 until end of turn. If it's a warrior, you may attach an equipment you control to it.
And
So
then, what's the type on Tidus again? Just checking.
That's a human warrior.
Oh dear.
So, turn arguably 4, I think it was like play Tidus on 3, turn 4, pay 1, put Colossus Hammer out, make him a 3/2, cast Resolute Strike, make him a 5/5 or a 5 whatever, equip Colossus Hammer to him, go to combat, tap down the only other remaining blocker or whatever, and just fucking crush face. We got the tech is good if you know what to look for it. And sometimes when you can just cheat the equip cost with I don't know, steal a uniform.
Stolen uniform.
Yeah. Just we have so much stuff that we can do with like equipment and like you're like, oh, here's my Colossus Hammer, it blows up. Ah, that's a shame. Here's my copy of Excalibur. Let's fucking just do it again. Yeah, it's a good time. when I feel like you're not like really leaning too heavily into it and be like, I tutor and my stuff has hexproof, and oh shit, wait, that's just my Radun Hagadu deck. Fuck!
Get his ass.
Oh, fuck. But yeah, Josh was a cool card. I know a few other people that have or are looking into it. Kristen hit us up with quote-unquote cards on her desk Joshua, and we're like, holy fuck, like this deck.
Yeah, Josh is a real popular guy, getting a lot of attention from a lot of cool people who either are like longtime Boros fans or just like are fans of the Final Fantasy 16 and want to see that experience in cardboard.
This man should not be a 3/4.
The thing is, Josh has hands.
Nah, but he do though. He really do. I thought it was funny, just to go back to Final Fantasy 16 for a minute. He joined the party, and then I'm like, ah, cool, we're in combat, and then I just see a laser flying across my screen, and I'm just like,
literally, yes. I'm like, when the fuck did you learn how to do that?
Whomst? Turn around, Joshua's semi-primed phoenix feathers flying off behind him. I'm like,
why are you going so hard?
Bro, I mean, like, I appreciate it because it's sick as fuck, but, like, also, like, damn, we're letting out some of the aggression, right? I'm like, well, then again, I am literally, like, shooting out, like, giant tornadoes, fists made of earth, giant space lasers, like, we're up to no good. Yeah, Final Fantasy 16, what a fucking cool game, huh?
Yeah, it fucking rips, dude. Man, what a great experience.
What do we got? Clive. Oh, speaking of Clive.
Yeah, tell me about Josh's little brother or older brother. Goodness.
I was like, please, this is the older brother. Thank you very much. The first shield of Rosaria. Thank you very much. So
he sure is the shield of Rosaria, and he will do his duty.
When we both hit that moment, we were both like, oh yeah, it's the thing. I was waiting for you to hit that part because I've already seen like the cutscenes from like the game coming out. But I was like, hey, just let me know when. And then I was like messaging you, and I'm just saying like, it's time. The thing is happening. You're going at it. Clive's cool. Clive's a cool guy. But also the card is also really cool. We did talk about him, I think the last couple episodes. But having a 6-mana 5/5 that pitches your hand in the graveyard and then draws you X to your devotion to red is pretty good, even as just kind of like a mid-late game draw engine.
Yes, dude, I love playing the big red archetype, and Clive is such a good commander for it.
Now, I have to admit that my card selection for this deck has been called out by my friend Tommy, who was like, Cole, where are the bombs? And I'm like, what do you mean? And he's like, well, I'm looking at the deck, and I feel like, I don't know, it caps out at 6 mana. Like, what are you doing? And I'm like, first of all, it caps out at...
dude, it caps out at 6 mana.
First of all, it caps out at 7 mana, but
okay,
also...
you have a singular Balefire Dragon.
Yeah, and that was a recent addition, admittedly.
So it capped out at 6 mana when they were talking about it.
Like, I don't know. Like, I don't know what to tell you, right? Like, I had, when I was at the deck building phase, because as usual, we are entering the, maybe building a deck based off the cards on your desk or on your shelf or whatever is like a good thing to do. Having a commander that cares about devotion in a card advantage sense was like, okay, like, what do I get out early that bumps up the pip count, so that way when he does show up, it's not like I'm gonna get blown out of the water in case like something happens, right? Like, you'll always do at least 2
enchantments and Torbrand.
Yeah.
Oh, and
so
there's Planeswalker tech, which is actually like, yeah, the especially the ones like Chandra, who's got the +1 to add red, and she's a 4-drop mana rock for this deck, basically. I think that's exactly what you want for your game plan, and the 2 red pips is excellent.
So it's like, okay, so what else are we doing here? So rando warrior synergy with Kargan Intimidator. I feel, like I'm just going back over what I was talking about from the conceptual level. But in terms of actual gameplay, results, right? First game with this deck, horrendous. I think I was stuck on like 4 lands and nothing else.
Dude.
Just couldn't get there. I was like, power balance save me, and then it would like reveal a land, and then like it would get stolen or exiled off the top or whatever. I'm like, this fucking sucks, dude. And I was like, where the fuck are my lands? I'm running 38 lands. Like, this is ridiculous, right? But then we take a look at the cost reduction technology, a la the Fire Crystal, Hazard's Monument, and Ruby Medallion. I had a
Fire Crystal, my queen. I fucking love that card so much.
This card is so good. So game 1 was a wash. It was fucking terrible. Game 2 was a lot. There was a lot more things going on, including having access to the Fire Crystal, because I was like, okay, we can, we got enough lands out, and we can cast the Fire Crystal comfortably, and then I can cast Clive. And I think I had like 5 or 6 pips. So like, if you're able to pay 6 to get 6, like you're already doing great. You're playing mono red, so this is fucking fantastic. But then came the moment of my friends were like, if he flips Clive, this is gonna be real bad, because they're like, kill whatever big annoying fucking thing that was there, right?
Yeah.
The tech that I've included in the deck to really kind of start like capitalizing off having like a giant fuck off 9/9 in the command zone. The aforementioned Donna Noble didn't get to show up, which is fine. They were like, damn, Cole, please don't draw Chandra's Ignition. I had Chandra's Ignition. Soul's Fire, deal 9 damage. Target creature you control deals 9 damage. But it was just the fact that they were like, great, what else do you got? And you're like, okay, cool. So I got a Hero's Blade out, so I auto-equip that. I had the Magmakin Arterialist and started discarding and drawing stuff. I had the Eternal in hand, didn't need him. I had the Defiler of Instinct out to like also do some more cost reduction stuff, and they're like, how much of that do you need? And I'm like, enough for me to just beat your ass. Like, I don't know, like it was further games that I had with the deck that weren't me infinitely mulliganing, only getting 2 lands repeatedly, which was fucking ridiculous. But the combination of stuff that I was able to get off of like the discard and all this other stuff was able to like, I didn't win the game, but it was very comfortable playing the game now that the engine was going.
That's all that matters, really.
Yeah. I feel as if there's some more tweaks that can be done, and I don't know if the act of adding a Balefire Dragon and a Trumpeting Carnosaur is really like contributing to the big red splashy bombs deck experience, but they're both like super duper fun cards anyway, and
I think Trumpeting Carnosaur fucking rules. That is one of my favorite reanimate targets in my standard Mardu Reanimator deck right now. So I'm thinking that if you're playing that, then you're on the right track.
I took a chance, like, okay, I have Sarkhan's Unsealing, which is not a very inspired thing to add. Like, it's very cool. I cast a creature spell with power 5, and I start lasering stuff. It's not that big of a deal, I get that. But it is also contributing a pip. But I got Warstorm Surge, and I was like, I need to put in Where Ancients Tread. This is a card from Alara Reborn? I can't fucking remember. Very similar to Warstorm Surge. 4 and a red for an enchantment. When a creature with power 5 or greater comes into play under your control, you may have Where Ancients Tread deals 5 damage to any target with the errata. I just wanted the redundancy. If we're going to be heavily relying on Clive, like, this is not a Conjurer's Closet Clive deck. Like, this is a play Clive and start weaponizing him and what he gives you. And even my friends were like, nah, but you know what? It is pretty cool, though. I'm like, yeah, you do get to turn like a 5/5 sideways along with like whatever Army of Red stuff you put out. So it adds up. It works out, I think, in the long run. But I need to get more games in, as usual. But I need to play Final Fantasy 16 to completion first. I cannot.
That is a big mood. I am also feeling the call of Final Fantasy 16 rather than playing Magic the Gathering, and I'm just like, every time I'm playing Magic the Gathering, I'm like, I wish I was playing Final Fantasy 16. I'd be playing Final Fantasy 16. Like, damn, this Magic the Gathering would really hit right now.
Yeah.
Life is so hard.
I know, yeah. Oh, so privileged, you know. Oh man, if I can't play games with my friends, I guess I'll play games by myself. Like, woohoo.
Yeah.
So yeah, how do we wrap this episode up? Because I'm pretty sure you and I don't have a soapbox unless you surprise me with one.
Why don't we just say thanks for coming and do the plugs and then play some music and bail?
Cool. All right. Shorter episode. Woohoo! My voice. All right. I'm at the Bludger Guy and Quinn's at Girl Dick Energy. You can find HBVC-MTG, all of that stuff over on Bluesky. Quinn and I are over on MTG Lexicon, the dive bar of EDH, usually on Saturdays, most Saturdays. And I'm going to be over there on this Friday playing D&D with the guys and Missy, so it'll be cool to see what's going on with that. We got Andy coming in next episode, so that's going to be pretty exciting. And I'll also have the time to heal up my voice for that. I can finally get the last of this illness out of me. I do believe, just due to timing and everything, we will be having Andy on, and then I think a couple weeks after that episode comes out, which will be at the end of July here, I will finally be over on You Know What's Cool, and I'll be talking about No More Heroes finally, so that's going to be pretty exciting. I love yapping with Andy and Zach and making them go like, oh, what? It's going to be fun.
Yeah, dude.
All right. That's it. Shorter one. Let's get the hell out of here.
Yeah, it's time to